I think it's key that you don't just ask the surface level questions. And this brings up another great topic, John, I think is like, you should do the same thing with your agent. You're an agency owner and you have 5 agents, you have 10 agents, you have 20 agents. Don't ask them surface level questions. Hey man, how's it going? Every agent's gonna say, it's okay, or it's good. They're not gonna open up to you off the jump saying, man, I'm struggling right now. Man, I don't have any money for leads. Man, I've been struggling with this. But like what a lot of agency owners I see out there do is they'll ask surface level questions to their agents and not actually find out what the heck is going on with their situation, or they don't even take time to learn about their agent's situation or what their background is or what their family dynamic looks like. So not only asking surface level questions in the home, I think we need to quit asking surface level questions as agency owners. We need to dig a little bit deeper into their situation. We need to ask a little bit more questions and understanding what is going on in their situation and how we can coach them up to the best of our ability. But I promise you guys, agents are going to be basic on these basic questions that you ask them because they're probably too afraid to open up to you about their situation or dump their problems onto you. And so that's where I think that if we can utilize digging deeper with our questions, not only in the home, but with our agents as well, then we're going to find out more problems. Like if we know an agent hasn't wrote a policy in a week, we know there's a problem going on. Like there's something that's happened. They didn't put up a sale on the board. So were you on vacation this last week? Were you not able to run any presentations this week? Like, let's improve the quality of our questions. And Jordan says this all the time, the quality of your questions is going to determine the quality of your business. Selling and building, same exact situation. And I'm guilty with it as well, that I'm so quick to ask surface level questions and then I don't actually get the answer or get what I need to get or extract the information that I'm actually looking for. So I appreciate you sharing that, John, because I think it's important. But like, could you elaborate a little bit or give us some examples of like, when we ask questions, we don't get the answers that we're really looking for. Like, how do we dig a little bit deeper? Or how would you take that approach on, peeling back the layer or pressing on the pain point?
So, yeah. And what I like is, like, I hate the phrase buyers are liars. Like, buyers aren't liars. You're just crappy at building rapport. And I don't mean going in and saying, hey, we like the same sports team. We like fishing. You build rapport by being trustworthy. Like when I go into a home, I find 1 or 2 things, I connect with them, and I'm at the table and I go straight in, right? Because I build rapport by being trustworthy. I build rapport by showing that I care. And right, the easiest way, so that's why I like how you say peeling back the onion. It's like, okay, that first peel of the onion is no less onion than the core of the onion. But the core of the onion is a lot more potent, right? Like, so it doesn't mean they're telling you lies. It's that you're just really, really bad at connecting with people, right? Because people aren't going to lie to people they care about. And I guess the easiest way to compare it is like if you have a partner, a spouse, married, girlfriend, boyfriend, like when something's wrong, right? And so you ask them, hey, what's wrong? And they say, nothing, I'm fine. But you know damn well there's something wrong. So what do? You probe back in and you ask again. Why? Because you care about them. Care about your clients, and you're going to do the same thing. Right? Because I care about the answer they give me. What's going to happen to Michaela if you pass away, babe? She's going to be all right. Okay, but what do you mean by all right? Like, is she going to have to get another job? Like, you guys make the same income, right? Well, that means you can retire today. If she's going to be all right, then you can retire today because you don't need to work because she'll be all right. Working, you know what I mean? Like, making those and digging into those things. And I think it's just like genuinely caring is how, like, if you're walking out the door without a sale, it's because you either didn't ask enough questions or you didn't ask the right questions. And so people go in and they say, whoever asks the most questions wins, but it's not necessarily true. Because I can ask you what color's the wall, what's your favorite sports team. That's not getting me any closer to a deal with you. But the proper questions that I ask, the one that gets the answers is the one that's in control. right? Because I can ask you 100 questions and you can say, I don't know. Well, I ask you the most questions, but who's in control? You are, right? So structuring those questions and understanding that the questions we ask, I tell people, the easiest thing, like, I can't tell you this sucks. Same thing with agents, right? Like, and I think we're selfish as human beings. We're naturally selfish, right? And we find something we really like about it, and as salespeople, we're like, everyone's like me, they like this. And so we go and we push the things we like about a product, but that's not the solution that everybody needs, right? So for instance, the easiest thing to understand about it is, like, if I go in and look for a drill because I need to hang 3 pictures on the wall, and a carpenter goes in and needs a drill, we still need the same products, but we have 2 different problems. This guy's using the drill 100, 200 times a day. I just need it for 3 times and I'm good, right? So understanding that problem is how you sell the client. And I guess the easiest way that I like to relate it is, like, we were walking through Sam's Club and some guy, like, I wanted AT&T. I had Sprint. I hated Sprint because of the fact that when I was on my phone, I used to go into schools and talk to teachers. And if someone called me and I was on the phone or I was calling the carrier, I couldn't connect to the internet. I already wanted AT&T. I was literally like the AT&T sales guy's dream, right? And he goes up and he's like, hey, who do you use for your service? And I said, Sprint. He said, oh yeah, that sucks. I can get you the newest iPhone. I can get you this. I can get you that. I can get you all these kind of things about materialistic things, the newest iPhone, this and that. But I'm not a materialistic guy. Like you guys saw in Dallas, like, I wear a hoodie and a beanie all day long. Like, I don't need to look good. I don't care, right? I had an iPhone 7. The only reason I got an 11 is because I moved to AT&T. But he was throwing up all this stuff that he liked about it because he figured since he liked it, I liked it. But that's not the case, right? He could have easily made a sale. The only reason I didn't buy it from him is because he didn't do one thing. What do you not like about your service? That's it. Like, what do you not like about the situation you're in? That question would have sold me, right? Because I would have told him, well, I don't like this. Well, we can do that. Let me show you, right? He would have had a deal. I got 2 cell phones, a tablet. Like, the guy could have made bank. I don't know how cell phone sellers get paid, but it's like, my last name is fun to say. But so I think if we gather anything out of what we're talking about today, dude, I have an outline of what I do, right? And so it's like, there's 7 steps that I go in every single process, and they're all led by questions. So like the first thing
guys,
you can do,
get ready to write this down. Okay. He's going to give you 7 tips to increase your sales right now.
well, it's like a process, right? There's all these, and then figure out, and so what I'm analytical, right? So first thing you can do, make a T chart, dude. Make a T chart on the left side, like all the products you sell, right? What final expense, term, return of premium, IULs, annuities, whole life, everything like that. On the right side, write all the solutions. What problems does that solve? Well, final expense solves, burial costs. It solves monthly income for X amount. Understand what problems that product solves. And then once you understand that, now when you talk to people, you're asking questions to find problems to fit them into a solution, not trying to push products on people, right? That's going to change everything, right? Because now I'm having conversations to understand solutions. Like, I'm trying to solve a problem. I'm not trying to push final expense. Because how many times you go on a mortgage mailer, and that's a mortgage mailer, you're supposed to sell the mortgage protection, but you transition to final expense because the problem's not mortgage, it's final expense, it's monthly income, right? And so when I sit down in a sale, like, this is my structure, and it's perfect. Like, it's just, I guess, categories. So like the first one, obviously you build your quick rapport, but your first one's your fact finder, right? Or your financial inventory, right? Your situation question. I need to figure out the situation that they're in, because I can't solve a problem I don't know. So fact finder, or financial inventory, that's your situation questions. You're doing those, right? Another tip on that, and I think I actually heard it from one of Lewis's things, is he ended up switching and doing the health questions first and not the income first. And what I liked about that is, one, it's easy to transition from broke to, hey, we need to replace income, rather than us talking about you being broke, us talking about your health issues, and then I have to reheat you up on being broke, right? So talk about health questions first, because we go in there to talk about life insurance, right? What do you need for life insurance? Good health. So it makes sense. We're not objecting this, but a lot of times we get that objection of people, why do you need to know what I have? Why do you need to know what I make? So if you build a rapport by asking and relating to all the health questions, the financial questions come easy, and then it's a significantly easier transition into that. But so situation questions, that's your...
So real quick, John, can you elaborate on how you would handle if someone's like, why do you need to know that? Or why are you asking me these questions? Because I know that's a big fear that people have. So like, if you can just give a tip on helping them understand why you're asking those questions, everyone would appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. And so I just straight to the point, I say, the life insurance companies, although they want to know what insurable interest is, because of the fact that there's a lot of times that people that make $10,000 a year want $20 million in insurance, right? And it doesn't make sense. There's no insurable interest there. Or say a grandchild wants to get a grandparent $1 million policy that they're the beneficiary. So they need to make sure the insurance you want to protect is there's an interest for it, right? As well as we want to make sure that we're not overbuying and things like that. So there's actually a cap to how much insurance you can buy. You can't just get as much insurance as you want. It's not like someone that makes $30,000 can get $20 million in insurance. There's typically a limitation. So I have to make sure as a field underwriter, I need to make sure that we're going in at the right amount and we're not looking at too much insurance, because I think you'd agree we don't want to get too much insurance. Is that correct? Like, that's all I say, and it makes sense, right? Because it's true. You can't buy too much insurance. Like, typically, if you're 30 years old, you can't get more than 30 years of income. Like, no one's going to let you do it. So if you make $100,000 a year, you can't get more than $3 million in coverage. That's just how it is. So that's how I handle that.
No, I appreciate that, because I think it's important that people understand, because you will get people, why you need to know that, that's them just taking back control of the presentation. And it's key that you always maintain the control in the home. You are the professional. And if you feel like you're losing control, that is when you have to take it right back. Because if you go down that path of allowing them to talk and allowing them to dictate the way the appointment, it's a wrap. It's over with. Once you lose control, there's no chance of you making a sale or helping a family. So you taking that control right back by, asserting yourself as the professional and telling them, well, this is what we have to do, or whatever the circumstance may be. But I just know for a fact that there's people that go in a presentation or in a home and then they lose the control, John, and then they keep carrying on, and it's just like you're dead in the water at that point in time. So I just think
get up and leave. I tell my downlines all the time. I say, dude, if they're not giving you information, you could spend your time much better making phone calls. I mean, I talked to my downline Jordan. I'm like, man, you got 2 kids. Why would you want to be in someone's house that doesn't want you there? Like, go home and spend time with your kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be there. I'm not like the easiest concept to go in is that, and everyone has so much pressure. They're like, I got to make a sale. I've been doing this for 5 years. Not one sale has changed my life, but every sale I make changes that person's life. So I'm there to help you. You're not there to help me. So that's bottom line. So if you're going to be rude, I'm going to pack my things and leave. And I've done it before. And then you start packing up, they either change tone real quick or you leave. Like, you can't want to be there more than they want you there. It's like having an agent that you want to succeed more than they want to succeed. It's not going to work. You're only going to give yourself problems. There's no point in doing it. Like, I value my time more than I value your time. I'm sorry, but I do. If you don't want me here, trust me, there's a million places I'd rather be than your $50,000 house that smells like cigarette smoke and there's cat poop all over the floor. Like, I'd rather be in so many other places than this. I'm here to help you. If you're not willing to help me, then I'm out. Like, that's the bottom line. So if you feel that, now that doesn't mean like because you're an incompetent person, you lost control, like grab control back. But there's just rude people out there. If they're going to be rude to you, get up and go. Like, you're not going to make a sale to someone that doesn't trust you or that is being mean to you. Like, it doesn't work. Unless you get that control back, just get up and leave. Like, value yourself more than that. Like I said, there's not one sale that's going to change your life. It's not going to happen. Now, momentarily, yeah, we get 3, 4, 5 on the board. Yeah, it helps. But I'm still working. I've made some really big sales. There's nothing that changes my life. But every person that you go and sit with that decides to take coverage, it helps their life, right? We're curing financial cancer, dude. That's all we're doing. You know what I mean? So
I love that.
Understand that control is everything, but also understand that respect yourself, man. Like, have confidence. If I'll get up and leave before, like, I'll kick myself out before you kick me out. I'll tell you that right now. You know what I mean? Because I'm out. Like, there's plenty of people, but that comes with volume, right? We have plenty of appointments. It's like we were talking about, right? Like, it's almost a breath of fresh air when you get no-show to an appointment. when you're so full of appointments, it's like, ah, now I can eat. You know what I mean? So just understanding that and value yourself more than, because if you don't have confidence in yourself, they can tell like that. You know what I mean? And confidence comes from lack of self-identity. So if you have lack of self-identity, figure out who you want to be and start doing those things. Build your confidence. You know what I mean? And so whether that be waking up early, like everyone wants to be, I know it's kind of a tangent, but everyone wants to be they want to make $1 million, but how many people want to be $1 million earners, right? Because that's two totally different things. You can't wake up at 9 a.m. every morning and say, I want to be $1 million earner. No, you want $1 million. Everyone wants $1 million. But who wants to live the lifestyle of the person that earns $1 million? That's the people. That's why, I have a checklist, dude. I said, what do people that make millions of dollars a year do? And I made myself Monday through Friday. See, I check them off. I make sure I do every single one, every single day. What is it? Read books. You know what I mean? Exercise, all kinds of things like that. So lack of confidence is lack of self-identity. Figure it out. You know what I mean? Do you really want to be that person, or you just do? I'd like a job. You know what I mean? But am I the person that's going to go get? Understand the difference between wanting $1 million and wanting to be $1 million earner, and that's how you start to get confidence in yourself, because you're trying to be something that you're not being. You want to be something that you're not taking the actions on, right?
Amen.
And so, but I think that was but it comes in sales, right? Like, you have to be confident. The most confident persons win every conversation, every time.
We like to preach, dude, that confidence comes with discipline and training. In this business, you have to be disciplined and you have to always be learning. There's no point in time. Santana, a prime example, on the call here today, was saying that he was getting the think about it a lot, and just running into a bunch of no sales. And then John gave him some tips and we gave him some videos to check out. And then he made helped 6 families or 7 families in a day. And it's like
that same day.
Santana's been doing this for 1.5 years, and we can get into this cycle of just going through the motions and thinking that we're going to make sales without creating any emotion. And so we always have to be humble enough to understand, even myself, 2.5 years into this thing, I still have things to learn. I still have things to keep sharpening. I still have things to get better at. And you have to stay humble in this business and understand there's always more to learn. There's always another layer where you can take this to the next level for your business, for your agency. It doesn't matter. So confidence, guys, comes from discipline and training in this business. And if you mix those two, which you can control both of those two aspects, all of a sudden you start feeling more confidence. All of a sudden you're standing tall in the home. All of a sudden you're firm with your voice. All of a sudden you're not stumbling on your words because you heard a training video of what to say or how to approach the next step. So I'm not meaning to interrupt you, John, but I just want to make these points come across and what you're saying and why you're saying it. So you said, you go through the financial inventory sheet, and what's kind of like the next process going through it?
So obviously that's your situation stage. Your next stage is awareness, right? I need to make this aware to these people because, like I said, a lot of people that have problems don't know they have the problems, right? That's why they send in mortgage mailers, but they need final extent. So I need to identify the situation. Lets me realize the situation. So that's your financial inventory, right? Then you have your awareness section. So that's me asking questions like, what does it look like, Gage, if you were to pass away? And figuring out, making you aware of the problem, right? And then the next one is like, I call it magnifying because I'm not a very smart person, so I call it the magnifying section. And so I'm honing in on why that opportunity sucks. But remember, I'm not talking, I'm asking, right? What kind of questions can you ask to make them aware of it? And then those are like probing questions to make them go deeper. Like, she'll be all right. Well, what do you mean by all right? And then if they can't do it, ask more, right? Like, well, does she have to pick up a second job? Is she going to have to get a smaller home? Are we going to have to, go on through it? And so that's like the magnifying phase is what I call it. And you just kind of build it into, and then the next one is, okay, solution questions, like, or section, like, let me start talking about solutions. And so Another thing that, and I'll finish this up and touch on that on top. And then 5 would be consequence. You know, you want to understand, like, build the consequences of if they don't take action today, right? Like consequence questions, right? That has to do with, what if you get in a car accident and we're thinking about it, right? Well, thinking about it doesn't change lives, right? And then you go into your transition, which is just kind of like cooling them off a little bit, and then going into your close or commitment stage. And like, I think it's really important to note, like, we're so, like you said, we try so fast to get through this financial inventory so we can talk about what we know about the product. That's selfish stuff. I talk about products for like 30 seconds. Seriously. Why? Because, once again, I don't sell death benefits. I sell what the death benefit does. So I'm not talking to you about $10,000, $12,000. Now, granted, if I'm looking for a funeral, I say, you know, it's $12,000 and yes. But if I'm trying to get your mindset on income replacement for 6, 12, 18 months, I'm not talking about a death benefit amount. I'm talking about the solution, right? Because here's the thing, like, sales charge back, solutions stay. Like, that's the bottom line. If I'm selling you a product, I'm going to catch a chargeback 100%. Why? Because I can push you into a sale. If I'm solving a problem, you understand that product is solving the problem I need, that stays on the books 100% of the time. You get a chargeback because you didn't solve the problem, you pushed the product. And I see that a lot. People chase the sale with product. What about this? What about this? What about this? The problem is why are you bringing stuff up you didn't even bring up in the beginning? It's like the living benefits statement. Like, how deep do y'all get into living benefits? I hear people, they're like, yeah, in case something happens, and then, you know, you can get for critical chronic terminal illness, and then they never bring it up again, right? If you look at my inventory sheet, it says, what happens if you were to pass away? The following question is, what happens if you get injured or sick, but you don't pass away? And they say, well, I have disability, I have short-term, I have long-term. Okay, perfect, that's not a problem. What happens if you go longer than 6 months? You lose your position, you lose your disability, you lose your long-term. What do we do then? That's a probing question, right? Getting them to think deeper, because it's a deflector. Oh, well, I got that taken care of. But do you? And it's not that, it's just that they don't know. You know what I mean? So we sell on living benefits, but we never ask about what's going to happen if you need living benefits. Like, we're pushing products. We're not solving problems. You know what I mean? So understanding that through your process changes everything, because the value of living benefits is huge. But there's no value if y'all didn't ask what would happen. And that's the problem, is like, stop trying to spill information. It's like a cute little puppy, right? Like, you're so excited, you want to talk about everything you like, then you rub its belly and it pees all over itself. It's not cute anymore. That's what you're doing by pushing products. You're not interesting. They don't care. They want to know that you care about solving the problem. That's it. Keep it on the books. And then if there's no problem to solve, get up and leave, dude. Like, we're so concerned about having a close ratio and closing everyone we sit with. But dude, if you genuinely go in and separate yourself from the sale and just say, hey, let me find a problem that needs to be solved, there's so many times we go into the home and there's not a problem to be solved. But one, there's got to be a problem to solve. Two, they have to understand there's a problem to solve. And three, that problem has to be more uncomfortable than the solution. I was talking to Santana about that. I said, look, we talk about how everyone wants to stay comfortable their whole life, right? We lean towards comfortability, right? So do our clients. Don't be a hypocrite, right? And so I'm going to lean towards whatever's comfortable. Either the idea of leaving my family with debt or $200 a month. So my goal is to make it so uncomfortable to leave your family with debt that $200, $300, $400 payment seems like a cozy bed, dude. Like, that's my job. Make uncomfortableness the highlight. Like, I want the solution to be more comfortable than the problem. Think about it, right? We have problems all over our lives. We have problems. Think about your house. Think about everything. Oh, that's a leaky faucet. That's a problem. But is the solution more comfortable than the problem? No, dude, I've had a leaky faucet for like 6 months, dude. Why? It's not a big problem. My water bill went up $10. Okay. You know what I mean? But we fix the problems that are more uncomfortable than the solution. So our goal is to make these people understand that the problem is more uncomfortable than the solution. And that's how you get people to move, you know? And like I said, that goes back to nothing I can say can make it that way. You have to tell me. And we do that by asking our financial questions. We do that by asking what if and probing. Like, stop asking questions to ask the question. Ask the question to get the answer. And if you don't get the answer, peel back the onion, get a deeper answer.
Boy, my man is on fire. That was great, dude.